Greetings, trailblazers of innovation. I'm Kwaku, and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this extraordinary journey into the world of advanced manufacturing. Get ready to step into the future where creation knows no limits. We're diving headfirst into a world where technology, creativity, and imagination meld to redefine industries and shape our tomorrow. Today, we're not just talking about manufacturing, we're unveiling a revolution that's reshaping how we make, build, and innovate. It's a fusion of ideas, technology, and dreams that's propelling us toward a new era of creation. We're happy to have this session sponsored and supported by Next Generation Advanced Manufacturing. Our panel of pioneers and visionaries in the realm of advanced manufacturing are about to take you behind the scenes, sharing their insights, experiences that have shaped this dynamic sector. We're delighted to have join us Linda Hassenfratz, Executive Chair and CEO of Linamar, Tony Chahine, CEO of Myant, Carol McLogan, CEO of Electrofed, Mike Andre, CEO of Morgan Solar, and Charles DeGuire, CEO of Kinova Robotics.
Mike Andrade, I'm the CEO of Morgan Solar, and we do sensors and analytics for solar fields to improve their efficiency and also incorporate solar into buildings to both do self-generation and improve their efficiency. My background is all technology, basically applying electronics, hardware and software into previously mechanical sort of applications. And I'm doing that now at Morgan Solar and with some other investments I have in the clean tech space.
Carol McLogan, and I'm the President and CEO of Electrofederation Canada. We are an industry association representing the electrical as well as the automation industries.
I'm Charles DeGuire. I'm CEO and co-founder of Kinova Robotics. We manufacture robotic arms here in Canada, and our arms are used for people with disability, like wheelchair users, or for surgical intervention, or in factories around the world. So we build robots in Canada.
Hi, I'm Linda Hassenfratz. I'm CEO of Linamar Corporation. We are a global diversified advanced manufacturing company, so focused in a variety of fields, including automotive, exciting products for electric vehicles and traditionally powered vehicles, as well as access equipment such as scissor lifts and boom lifts, and agricultural equipment such as harvesting equipment and tillage equipment. So quite a variety of products. We're about $8 billion in sales, and we have 69 manufacturing locations around the world and lots of opportunities for exciting growth.
My name is Tony Chahine. I am the founder and CEO of Myant. Myant is a textile computing platform. We create functionalized textile, and we knit and weave that textile in various form factors. Our focus right now is textile on bodies for enabling a continuous relationship between the wearer and the healthcare provider. So our focus is healthcare. We also have a deep tech division that's focusing on creating next generation material. That material could be used in textile, as you could use it to extrude textile, as well as create powder or ink or resin material for 3D printing industry.
I'm really excited for this conversation to bring about the different themes and topics that young people can really pick up off of you. Also, thank you. So we'll start off with the questions. We'll go right into it. How has advanced manufacturing revolutionized industries and careers? And what are some of the most significant breakthrough technologies and innovative solutions that you've seen that have emerged in this field?
The incorporation of semiconductors, and then by extension, then software and firmware into everything, and then the ability to then communicate, often wirelessly, has transformed traditional inert blocks of metal into smart devices that are interconnected and can do things that you could never imagine. So to me, it was the semiconductor manufacturing, miniaturization, reliability improvements that has, revolutionized, a string of industries over time.
The advanced manufacturing field is fundamentally important to developing literally every new technology that's changing our lives every day. I mean, whether it's in the technology or electronics field, like just described, or in electric vehicles, for instance, where, you know, we are completely changing the landscape of what mobility is all about. It is advanced manufacturing that is developing these technologies and launching these businesses. So I think that in itself is fundamentally important because it's changing everything we do and how we do it. And I would say, secondly, it's really revolutionizing the shop floor of how we do things. I mean, we're increasingly automating the more repetitive jobs and replacing them with, in my opinion, more interesting and certainly more higher paying jobs that, you know, really the face of the manufacturing floor has completely changed really just inside of the, you know, 30 years that I've been in this industry. So the jobs are changing and we're doing fundamentally important things to change how we do things really in a more sustainable way.
When we talk about manufacturing today or advanced manufacturing, another term that's often used is Industry 4.0. And what that is a combination of the digital and the physical worlds when it comes to manufacturing. So nowadays, right from the customer putting in an order, right through to the vendor, your whole process can be connected, or your supply chain can be connected. So that order sends signals to byproducts, sends signals to organized manufacturing lines, as well as send signals to ship the product out at the very end. On the floor, you've got smart machines that are talking to each other. You've got machines that are self-diagnosing problems. You also have energy data that's coming from the equipment as well, because everybody's concerned about sustainability. So it's really the smart world and the physical world that has come together.
You know, from a career perspective, since that's one of a point in your question, it's really liberating the way we do things, and it's educating next generation, including existing members of the manufacturing floor, to really understand the product. But before, industries used to be highly siloed. At best, one or two disciplines was good enough to allow someone to be employed and succeed. But in this really very important sector of our economy, advanced manufacturing, it's forcing a new culture where really all the team that are participating in manufacturing a product, they now have the entire discipline, the entire ecosystem of making things is now available. So in one part, it allowing employees or people on the floor or in the offices working in that domain to add significantly more value, to learn a lot more, but more importantly, to start thinking about additional discipline they can add to this product, because as Mike and Linda and we, as they said before, it's becoming highly connected, and Carol said the same thing. So this ability to understand physical and digital and relationship, especially as it relates to Industry 4.0, and soon it's going to become Industry 5.0. I think what's really important in this is allowing a new culture that is not limited by certain discipline. It's really had reduced the barrier, allow even industry owners right now can hop from one industry to the other without a lot of additional setup. So you can be in a healthcare company, you can automatically become in a home furnishing company. In our case, we don't have any experience in that. So advanced manufacturing is forcing that type of interoperabilities and knowledge, and I feel very good about it, specifically as it relates to student, university graduate who are going to the field of manufacturing. It has endless possibilities.
For me, it really shaped my career. In fact, you know, we build robots. We build a company that builds robots. And robotic exists thanks to advanced manufacturing. And I think this is the vision also for the future, where advanced manufacturing will develop new technology, new capacity, and then we can take those capacity technology, and in our example, we took robotics that were built for manufacturing, basically, and we made them safe, we made them portable, and we integrated them onto a power wheelchair. So now people with disability can use the robot to open a door, to pick up something on the floor, and to have a meal by themselves, even if they control the robot with their chin, with their voice, with their eyes. So all of those technology came together, and those technology were tested in advanced manufacturing. So it's really, at the forefront of the technology. And robotic is one great example. But in the coming years, how we use AI in advanced manufacturing, how we make, more sustainable goods being accessible thanks to advanced manufacturing, are all going to be those small revolutions that are going to add up. So advanced manufacturing for me is where I got what built Kinova and what made us conquer the world with robots. Then tomorrow, it's also, a lighthouse of what's coming. Well, what are the great technology that are going to become accessible tomorrow?
Just to take a breath, for me personally, I mean, this is your lives on a daily basis, but somebody outside of advanced manufacturing who the closest thing I probably have is this computer, like this iPhone, and maybe, I don't know, some other my cool alarm clock. I think just to hear the different innovations and like hearing about Industry 4.0 and going to 5.0 and the different connectivity from user to like vendor, it just opens up a whole access of knowledge that, not many of us think. And so thank you for sharing those trends. And the next question is going to focus on young people who are looking to enter a career within advanced manufacturing, what that, may look like. And so as industry leaders and experts in advanced manufacturing, can you share insights into the diverse opportunities available within this dynamic sector and how it's, shaping the future of making? What are the different, opportunities folks can sort of get into?
Advanced manufacturing is very much a technology business. I think young people think, oh, I want to get into technology businesses, and they don't think about manufacturing, when in fact that's exactly what we've become. We're more about technology, which is advancing at an extremely rapid state than we ever have been. It is all about innovation. It's about the future. And to me, what's really important is it's solving some of the world's biggest issues, whether it be around the environment, air quality, access to water, access to food, to a growing global population. How we solve those problems is with the products that we use every day. And it is the advanced manufacturing industry that is developing new products to do those things and processes to do them sustainably. So to me, if you're interested in trying to solve some of those problems, this is a great industry to come into because that is actively what, every business is trying to develop, those products that are going to solve those world issues and processes to do them sustainably.
I'll jump on that too, because that was where I was going. When people often ask me, how can I do something? Because most people want to do a good job that's fun, interesting, they can learn a lot, but also accomplishes something. And what Linda just mentioned about you can think about just about every major world problem. And we're not talking about, creating the next social media network. If you are actually interfacing with the real physical world, that requires you to build physical products to interface with that world. You don't generate, your power grid from software only. So if someone wants to solve the major problems, they are going to have to manufacture something to do that now. And often the manufacturing of those products to make them low cost and reliable and high scale, the process and the technology associated with building the products is actually more advanced than the end products. So I feel that it's got to flip on its head a little bit. But if you want to serve the world, you're probably going to have to make something. And if you want to get involved in the most technologically advanced area, it's probably the manufacturing of that thing to make it low cost, reliable, and in sufficient volume to make a dent in the world. So I feel it's the only place for solving the big problems, because those tend to be physical world problems that require things built to deal with.
When you think about building things, you need a designer to start. So when mechanical design, product design, that's one of the areas. And there's the whole area of engineering, whether manufacturing engineering, operations engineering. Then there's the supply chain side. So if that's what you would like to get involved in, the movement of product, You can also have opportunities in supply chain, data analytics. All of the connectivity and the smart things that we talk about requires a different type of skill set. And at the same time, there's also the whole community that serves the advanced manufacturing sector. So there's a career called a systems integrator, and a systems integrator works with all the robotics companies, the automation companies, and they design the factory floor. So there's that type of opportunity. And there are the supply chain channels that also serve that market, which are the distribution channels and so on. And with each maker, you need a marketer, you need finance, you need IT, you need all of those other functions. And when it comes to what your passion is, selecting the right industry and where you have the most advancement, that's a real key decision because you want to select an area that's growing.
Yeah, I'll go. And talking about growing, so building electric vehicle, clearly it's going to be growing, but everything that's around it, you need to build a supply chain for that. You need to build the equipment for that. So in robotics, a lot of opportunities are going to come, especially in Canada. We have very good skill set in robotic in universities, in college, in various degrees. But to give the example at Kinova, 250 people, 50 people in the factory, 200 people are not in the factory, but are supporting. So engineers in electrical, in software, in control, data analysts, people in marketing, in finance, in legal, in communication. So whatever the skill set, the talent that you might have, there's going to be opportunities that are linked in advanced manufacturing, because it's a team sport. It's innovation. So innovation is a team sport, and we need all of them around the table. So we need to keep an open mind around that and say, whatever the skill sets and the interests that people have, there's room for that in advanced manufacturing. And we combine all of that interest and skill set around one very specific goal. We need to deliver a good that is accessible, a good that is sustainable, and a good that is competitive. And as long as you want to fight, you want to be in that competition, you want to be leading that new industries, then advanced manufacturing is going to allow to deliver, that good to the expected level that we have in mind. So it's really a team sport, and you don't need to be, that specifically good with your hands or specifically good in maths. We need plenty of diversity of skill set to make it possible.
I just want to add something small to that. You see, I happen to believe Canada should be more, I should say, a making economy. And making of the future is slightly or a lot different than making in the past. So advanced manufacturing is the true one thing that is a full stack manufacturing. The people who are operating, they become aware of the entire stack of development, because every product we're creating has all sorts of consequences, both environmentally or interoperabilities into whatever the function that you design. So the people who are manufacturing, they're no longer any advanced manufacturing. They're no longer just a commodity maker. They are actually creating system, and for that, the knowledge needs to be a full stack system, because the person at the front line, the way they're manufacturing, has all sort of relationship to how the product will operate. But I'm also a huge believer in creating a multidisciplinary education to allow the student of the future not to be siloed in specific engineering classes or art classes or designer classes. Because I think you need the entire ecosystem of education involved in advanced manufacturing, because they're all related. So I truly believe this is the most exciting field in Canada and for Canada. And making should be a matter of our own pride. And it's something that we can export anywhere in the world, because we're trusted as a nation, specifically as you start adding data and interoperability and outcome from those and safety. I think we are the country to really own that category.
I would just add to that we're also a great place to make things, because our energy sources are very clean. You know,
Right.
as an example, Ontario's energy grid is 94% clean energy. We're not putting a big carbon footprint on the products we make. The products we make are made with clean energy, and that is fundamentally important to the future of a sustainable world.
The question I have is, can you provide a real life example of successful projects or initiatives that you're leading within advanced manufacturing that have had a significant impact on industries or have contributed to building a sustainable future, or wherever it's, the impact is seen throughout?
So I, talking about stories, I started MyEnt in 2010. At the time, I wanted to solve a problem. My dad had developed a very early sign of dementia at the age of 63. And someone with dementia cannot participate. They cannot input, they cannot talk to a device, they cannot go on a video call, etc. So if you really want to stay connected with your loved ones, the challenge for me was, how do I develop a passive interface that I could stay connected with my dad, and my dad could stay connected with their care provider, and then we don't have to have this phone call to a nurse. The nurse will translate what my dad is going through, etc. Because we all probably in one way or the other had dealt with some of those experiences. So I wanted to have this passive interface, and I wanted to feel the presence of my dad next to me, as if he's next to me, regardless how far it is. So the characteristic of this interface, when I start thinking about it, I want it to be continuous, not episodical. I don't want him to kind of connect with me only when he needs me. I want it to be continuous. Again, as if he's next to me. I don't need to dial a phone if he's next to me. I could see him. So I want it to be continuous. I want it to be bi-directional, so I can sense, and we can also deliver back through the medium actuation, like in a form of heating, cooling, electric stimulation, whatever that is. As well, I want it to be a whole person, not like the way they manage healthcare. They manage by disease. Okay, so you have a doctor for cardiovascular disease and a doctor for dementia and a doctor for someone else. And my dad had all of those in one. So it was very difficult. So I wanted to have a whole person interface, and I wanted to be bi-directional. I wanted to be continuous. But more importantly, I wanted to be passive because my dad couldn't learn any new habits. So in 2010, Canada has almost non-existent textile manufacturing, and I don't have any knowledge of manufacturing textile at the time. I just wanted to develop. I knew how to create an electric board. I knew how to solve an electrical engineering problem, but I didn't know how to make textile a medium. So we started, on a whiteboard, and everyone said it's not possible, and there is no way this will see the light of the day. It will never be regulated. It will never be approved by FDA or Health Canada, and because we didn't know, but I wanted to push forward, and we spent a lot of time and money in developing machinery, acquiring machinery, learning every aspect. But in this, why I say it's a full stack engineering or full stack manufacturing job, because we needed to learn how to code polymer or carbon or PDOT into yarn to make it conductive. We needed to make sure how we can knit it and weave it in a machine that has mechanical friction. So the yarn itself may be scratched, so therefore your impedance or electrical measurement will be variable, and which is not a good thing. And then from there, we needed to make sure it's washable and dryable, because you do not want to change the habit of a person. You do not want to give them an interface that you're asking, okay, you can't wash it and you can't wear it this way. So all sort of new disciplines that we needed to learn. And of course, in textile, which is a nightmare, or textile on the body, you have various sizes, and you have men and women. So you're developing your electric circuit, but all of them, you have someone who could be 2XL, and you have someone who could be 0 size or 1XL or small. So all of those things have all sort of challenges, and we went through ups and downs. We were doomed for at least the first 5-6 years, and in 2016-17 we started seeing some breakthrough, but we were completely alone. There was no industry, no support, but the ability to make it happen was there, and we were fortunate that we had the means to stay afloat. And now we created a completely new industry from scratch. It doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. So having that desire and figuring out and calling people and mapping it all out, you can create unbelievable new categories, unbelievable new type of product, that could serve. And I will say this: we have now like almost 200 people with our seasonal manufacturing worker, maybe 230 staff. For the most part, we're not perfect. For the most part, our employees enjoy working here because they feel they're contributing to an outcome far more than just delivering a product on a price for a price. So that's my experience. Today, we provide accessibility. We're Health Canada licensed to license. We have FDA in place. It's under final review. I shouldn't say in place, sorry. It's under final review. So we're supposed to get it sometime in September. But we have Mayo Clinic, the largest hospital in the world, signed us exclusive to list our product. We've done all sorts of clinical trial with them that's very successful. Cleveland Clinic in Abu Dhabi use our product. Many hospitals right now in Canada use our product, all from a story that it was not possible. It was not supposed to be possible in an industry that didn't exist in Canada. So all sorts of possibilities. I'm not the only one. There's all sorts of possibilities, but that's the benefit of figuring out how to make things and staying the course to make it happen.
Great story, Tony. I love your story. And I really do think your technology is fundamentally important to the future of health, especially with an aging population. I have another example. I mean, I think it's a broad example, but in terms of something the advanced manufacturing industry is doing that is going to contribute massively to a sustainable future is, of course, the electrification of mobility. From first hybrid electric vehicles, then battery electric vehicles, and finally fuel cell electric vehicles. This is a transition that's going to be happening over the next 20 years and will play a really important role, I think, in changing the way we get around to be safer and to be cleaner. And it is being 100% driven by manufacturing companies who are innovating new products to power these vehicles and to build them, and then the actual building of the vehicles themselves as well. This is an area that my business Linamar is, of course, very engaged in. There's a lot that we're doing in terms of developing new products for electrified vehicles, whether it be hybrid, battery electric, or fuel cell electric. To your point, I think that they're products that people aren't even really thinking about. Fuel cell electric vehicles is a great example. Hydrogen, in my opinion, is the future of many different industries, mobility just being one of them. So we're developing, for instance, very low profile conformable tanks to store hydrogen that can store 30% more hydrogen than traditional style fuel tanks, that I think will be a really important part of bringing those vehicles into the market. I would say most people aren't even thinking about hydrogen vehicles today because the talk is all about battery electric, which will be a great bridging technology to fuel cell electric vehicles, because both by definition are electric vehicles. The propulsion is the same. It's just the how you power it. I think that's a great example of what's exciting about advanced manufacturing is we're not just designing vehicles and products for today. We're also designing vehicles and products that we'll be launching 8 or 10 years from now, and continuing the cycle of change and evolution in technology.
My space is all clean tech. That's where I spend all my time. And I think people are finally catching on that this is a technology-led disruption, generally from solid-state electronics in the form of solar panels and batteries and power electronics that are disrupting rotating things to generate electricity and using molecules to do that. And it's just beginning. And I think people have caught on to that solar now is the fastest growing in history, the lowest cost in history source of electricity that we've ever had. And that's happened overnight. I've been involved in it a long time, so it hasn't kind of surprised us, but the price decline has enabled that sort of growth. And that was all manufacturing. The technology essentially to create solar was done in the 1980s. So all of the cost takedown that's allowed us to get to the point where these are the lowest cost, fastest growing, last 30 years is all manufacturing. So that people are catching on to that. That was all advanced manufacturing. The next frontier, though, is what's holding solar back, and that's kind of, I think, the two areas that we're working on. I think this is what advanced manufacturing really is. What's the next problem that needs to be solved? So there's two things that we're doing. One is how do you unleash more financial, like more money to go towards solar, and a lot of it is risk. And the financial market knows how to price bonds, and they know how to price things that have a coupon of money that comes along every year and a cost associated with it. And we're trying to make that how solar is looked at by putting some sensors and analytics that give them far better predictability of the actual performance over the 20 to 30 years of degradation curves of performance, reduce the cost to run the field. So it creates a much more reliable and predictable financial stream that financial people understand. Like, they don't understand physics of solar, but they understand cash flow. And so if we can make this look more predictable and reliable for them, that will be money that will just flow in. We don't have to, the money's there, they're just looking for a better risk profile for it. So that's one of the things with sensors and analytics that we're doing. And the second thing is, the first generation of solar is just dropping solar panels into a field and then connected into your grid. But any disruptive technology is first used as a drop-in, and then people reimagine what can be done. And the difference with solar, for example, is that the sun is everywhere, and there's more than enough sun energy hitting the world to power the world, total world, in less than an hour. So this flips around from energy is scarce into how do we convert infinite amount of energy. And where do most people live? Well, they live and work in buildings. And so the real frontier is how do we incorporate solar better into buildings? And of course, everyone knows you can put it on your roof, but what do you do with windows? And as soon as you get into windows, you have a dual problem. One is the sun does good things and the sun does bad things. In the summer, it might be too much heat and glare and you have to run more electricity. At night, of course, there's no sun. And in the winter, you want the heat to come in from the sun. So what we are developing are products that are, don't require, once again, someone to be a PhD in optics or solar like that. They'll look like a blind, they'll look like a louver, they'll look like a pergola. And what they're going to do is generate meaningful amounts of solar over windows, over skylights, over glass facades, while at the same time reducing the energy generation required to cool or heat the building. And so instead of having a solar panel out in a field somewhere, running it to the grid to run your air conditioner, why don't you just generate power at the site and prevent the need for air conditioning in the first place by screening out some of the energy of the sun? So those are the couple of things that we're doing with manufacturing and the latest products, is solving the next problems for solar, because the cost and reliability one has generally been solved by advanced manufacturing so far.
One of the key areas of advanced manufacturing is the whole aspect of 3D printing. And one barrier sometimes to innovation is that it costs too much to try something. And when you introduce 3D printing, you can not only bring that whole cost down, that allows all sorts of industries or manufacturers to innovate that like they've never done before. Or I come from the lighting industry in my previous life, and we're now doing 3D printing of lighting fixtures for those designers who wanted to create extremely unique product, but it was too expensive to ever do that. Now you can do it in an affordable way. So whether it contributes to innovation or creativity and style, advanced manufacturing had its finger on that.
Thank you all. I'm just sort of thinking how all of these stories just like I saw it in past, present, and future, and like, past and how things started, present and how, we're moving the world today, but future and like already starting to think how these projects are going to become relevant for tomorrow. So I kind of want to, I know we're coming close to our time. I kind of wanted to throw out one of our youth submitted questions. I'm going to ask if one person could respond to this, but also no pressure. It's along the themes of, sustainability. So I'm going to read it in the voice of our young person who has submitted it. Hi, my name is Nola Charles. My pronouns are she, her. I'm from Vancouver, British Columbia. How do you think we can, advertise these careers to youth, when there's been a lot of questions about ethics and careers within manufacturing and the impacts on environment. How can we sort of promote, sustainability as, the move for young people in advanced manufacturing?
I'll throw an answer out there if you like. But to me, if you want something to change, then be part of the change. If you think that manufacturing is not doing a good job sustainably of making products sustainably, then be part of the solution and help to be part of how we do make things more sustainably. I will say, being part of the manufacturing industry, it is our top priority. How do we make products that are more sustainable, and how do we make them in a more sustainable way? So I can tell you that that is a top priority for most manufacturing companies, if not all. And I would encourage you to be part of the solution.
As we wrap up this captivating journey through the world of advanced manufacturing, I want to express my gratitude to each one of you for joining us. Special appreciation to Next Generation Manufacturing Canada, the driving force behind Canada's Global Innovation Cluster for Advanced Manufacturing. Their dedication has paved the way for a more sustainable, efficient, and transformative manufacturing landscape. The insights you've gained here are more than just information. They are the keys to unlocking your own potential in this exciting field. Remember, the adventure doesn't end here. The path of discovery, innovation, and exploration beacons you to venture further into the frontiers and the future of making. As you step back into the world armed with newfound knowledge, may your journey be illuminated by creativity, resilience, and a passion for shaping the future. Thank you for embarking on this incredible voyage with us. The realm of advanced manufacturing awaits your contributions, innovations, and limitless possibilities. Let's continue to craft a future that embodies the essence of human ingenuity and the transformative power of creation.